For this one, I'd like to bring on Tomasz, who's the co-executive director of the Ethereum Foundation. And we're going to talk about some interesting things that are top of his mind and some things that I'm curious about. So please join me in welcoming Tomasz on stage.
I saw that with 2 microphones, I would be able to say 2 times more things.
I think that's how exactly it works. This is scaling, right? So we got 20 minutes and want to talk about a lot of things. So let me start by asking you, what did you get done this week?
Yeah, this week, it depends on how we count when the week starts, because it's kind of like weekends are missing recently. We've been working a lot on the major changes at the EF and for Ethereum, so it's still finalizing the strategies and delivering those. Big part of the changes at the EF were communication. We had like the EF-wide town hall this week with the open questions. So it was like 2 hours run when finally we found this time after previously meeting 2 months ago. We want to do it every month and make sure that everyone is set for deliveries. And I think that now is the time for deliveries. So being here at the event and answering lots of nice questions and making sure that we're sharing the direction, that we share the strategic goals is very important, because big part of the, I guess, leadership is making sure that everyone hears what we want to do and that we repeat the same things. Right? Scale L1, scale blobs, and improve interop and UX. And now I see also like the 5-tier strategy of winning. We'll start talking about it probably more. And well, it's a lot of meetings, and ideally every single person who comes to have a conversation says like, this is an actionable item that you can deliver. So each time I have the conversations here and someone says like, let's do this thing, I think this is thousands of small things that we're delivering every day. And hopefully it will continue, but everyone has to have the same mindset now, like shipping on Ethereum. So probably we'll start asking this question: what you've done this week, what have you shipped? Ship it, or it's just talking, and we've been talking a lot.
That's awesome. Not to put you up on the spot here, but any interesting things you're willing to share from the town hall that are active themes that give people a heads up on?
From the town hall, yeah, sure. People are asking mostly about the confirmation of those discussions that go on Twitter, on the conferences, on the podcast. They want to have clarification of how this translates to Ethereum Foundation actions. So mostly we are now finalizing like the structuring both of the major clusters of the foundation, the ecosystem development and the protocol research and development. So because next week's in Berlin, we'll be meeting for the interop with multiple clients teams. So the preparation for that, we want to be just properly prepared and ready to discuss the delivery, the schedule. So lots of discussions about the structure of the teams, how exactly they will look. And that's also where the questions were. Also the culture questions of like, what does it mean? What we're discussing in the on Twitter, on Farcaster, and people want to hear it. So there's 200 people at the foundation, and the conversations one-on-one don't happen. So the town hall is needed, and I think in the past that was missing.
Amazing. I think we'll just jump right into some of the interesting stuff. Who do you think Ethereum competes against?
Who Ethereum competes against? So, well, Ethereum, maybe that's the 5 stages of win, I think. At the moment, I think that we were pushed to look at the Ethereum versus alternative L1s, but I see that Ethereum is really delivering the platform for L2s to compete against the alternative L1s. I would like the Unichain, Base, Arbitrum, Starknet, all of the different L2s to simply keep winning with all the alternative L1s. So I wanted to be very clear that if you're on Ethereum and building layer 2, then you'll be just beating everyone who has decided not to go with Ethereum. And delivering that for the platform, for Ethereum mainnet, is the most important goal. So in this way, as the ecosystem, we're competing with anyone who decided to build their own chain solution and not join the network effects that Ethereum is generating and will be generating. And then the next stages, I think, for us is first of all, make sure that as we clearly say that the L2s on Ethereum beat other L1s, that then we can also show the very strong, the hub of Ethereum for all the chains, so that we start showing this interchain connectivity, very strong interop, and we also deliver like the strongest base. So here you have the solutions like Celestia, like EigenDA. So is it competition? It can be partnership or competition. We have to strategically design it with those players. Then you look at the interchain solutions, whether it's layer 0 or any other bridging solutions, how they should play into the interop. And then I think that we should just come back to talk about the Ethereum as an asset, as a store of value, like how it plays in the world with Bitcoin, with reserves, and that's probably a big question of the large enterprises, large treasuries, the big finance asking of how they allocate and how they feel that Ethereum is the most globally neutral, secure store of value for the future, and it matters now in the perception of many people in the industry. Why it matters? Because it strengthens the network a lot. Like it shows the strength of that comes back to the competition and other levels. Shows the strength of Ethereum as a network, secures it on all the levels, make sure that that any deployed, and when we talked about this, like this $1 trillion security initiative that we announced recently, and next week.
Tell people more about what the initiative is.
Exactly. So we say that if you launch on Ethereum, you should be feeling safe if you launch a $1 trillion fund in a single set of smart contracts, and you can operate them on the network, and you feel, okay, I know exactly how to operate every single aspect of the stack. And how to secure it. And it's how to educate anybody who manages the keys, how to maintain the connectivity on even like the Web 2 layer, like are there possible attacks on the data centers, are there particular like DNS replacements of that, and so on and so on. So all of this, we collect feedback from the ecosystem on where they see potential attack vectors, risks, and we say, look, Ethereum is already showing us the most secure network, and how we go beyond that. How we say that even now, as you run like 10 billion, 100 billion contracts and funds on Ethereum, how do you go to this $1 trillion? At the same time, we said, look, $1 trillion also means that it's like billion users at $1,000 each. That it has to be the network that is globally trusted and feels globally safe, because for millions or billions of users around the world, this place to safely store assets of like $1,000 value is extremely important, and that's what we deliver. So they almost created this like security North Star for Ethereum, to say that we both go wide, and also we care about this large funds. So we want to always be connector of the large finance, but also individuals that feel that they can go entirely independently and privately.
So I guess maybe just to finish the thought here, we kind of started off by talking about what does it mean for Ethereum as a store of value. What are kind of these 5 layers that kind of gives us a good picture for like what the end goal is and where we are in that journey right now?
Where we on the journey, I think that we were in the last maybe 1.5 year, we were pushed to like just competing with L1. So like where we should be soon is like just to keep talking about Ethereum globally as the global economy, and go even beyond this comparison with Ethereum, Bitcoin, and say, look, the global economy in the future should be built on Ethereum, because that's programmable. All the BTC, when it enters the economy and is traded, it should be traded on Ethereum chains. This is the direction. I think we are below that because we started simply listening too much to the voices that try to create a bit of disagreements between like the L2's vision, L1 vision, and strong statement that no, this is the Ethereum vision of this like L2's customization and very very broad outreach, very strong L1 with lots of high value activity. There's lots of engineering and research challenges for delivery on the mainnet to show strongly this is the platform for all the L2s, for all L1s to become L2s on Ethereum. That's where we are now, and that's why this next year is so critical. So, look, we inviting now all the engineering excellence and all the brave ideas. We open to any changes. Well, I'm open to onward.
The difference between you and getting that actually to happen.
Yeah.
So speaking of, I guess, what are some crazy things that could be up for?
Sure, I think that like anything that asks questions about the major rewrites of the networking layer, like the P2P, any like the automated approach to like AI for the community, and the building the ecosystem, the hackathons, the meetups with AI. Coming back to protocol, like any significant changes to consensus layer that say, oh, this is something that we never thought about, but actually delivers the same guarantees, but moves us to the next generation. Like, so you see now this beam chain, but also maybe something totally different.
So I guess maybe just to help everybody in the audience understand this, so when you say we may be open to changing the consensus, what exactly are some of the features that we're trying to optimize, or what are kind of the measurable things here? Like, hey, this becomes from, I don't know, 50% efficient to this gets cut down by 100x.
Yeah, so what I care about is for sure to make this like strong promise that the layer 1 mainnet gas limit keeps growing, and probably over time it should be easily doubling every year. Now Dankred suggested this like 3x for the next two years, so it's 10x together, and then like 100x over 4 years. And I think that the change of thinking at the EF and in the ecosystem should be, we set this very clear goal, like we have to grow, we want to be strong base for layer 2s, and now we start thinking of what the EIPs should be and what the design of the chain should be, while also remembering that the security and censorship resistance are like absolutely important for every user, for every institution that comes to us. They keep asking for it, so it's not like, oh, we rewrite, we change everything, and suddenly it doesn't work. No, but I think there's lots of innovation that we should not be afraid of using in Ethereum to say, you know, instead of just thinking of a change, an EIP, and then start implementing it and then checking how it affects the protocol, think of like what the goal is, like what people are asking for, like what the actual speed levels are there. Because even if you said, oh, 10x on the protocol, maybe if we go to all the enterprise and say, like, imagine the world in the future, everything that you have to execute on L1, and everything that L2s will have to use for the interop for the L1 hub, how it translates to the exact gas limits that we have to achieve. And when we know it, like when we can calculate, okay, so is it just a handful of EIPs? Is it the major rewrite of the P2P layer? We just like started building the P2P team. Well, we started a few months ago, and now people are joining. So I think now we have 3 people on the team building the new P2P layer.
And just to understand, this means we already know what needs to be done, and now we're in the engineering phase of it, or this is an open problem that also needs a solution?
Yeah, so we know what to do for the next 6 to 12 months. So this is on scaling. There's still the question of showing everyone like why. So because in the decentralized ecosystem, it's one thing is to say we have clear goals and we go there, but then everyone has to say, all right, that's why, and we're moving there and we're delivering that. So this 300 million gas blocks and the 8 times the blob capacity and further improvement of the blob capacity and the wallets that can connect to all the L2s and all the L1s and just like move liquidity freely. Also, I think it's clearer and clearer that we have to have short block times. Now,
Why is that important?
yeah, so to support Ethereum as the hub for all the L2s to feel that they don't have to design the bridging layers that are outside of Ethereum, outside of this Ethereum hub, so that also you can have a bit more of the settlement trading, like settlement in a financial sense, trade activity on mainnet that feels that's okay. You can build an L1 and have this very good pre-confirmation or simply very good block times confirmation times. It should feel good on the layer 1, and it seems like more and more convincing that that's where we should go. Now, is it just start with 8 seconds, but should it go to 1 second or 3 seconds? Like where there are the global decentralization risks, should there be some like very novel designs with geographical sharding? I think some of these expressions are mine, and then like the other questions are coming from the industry saying like it has to be hub. Now we know that this is a strong hint, that's where we need to go, but we will also have to ask questions of how exactly to get there, and people should start to be much more brave on designing it.
I mean, this is the best form of experimentation that I personally would like to see. So this is awesome to hear. I guess maybe on that same topic, do you have any thoughts on some of the talks that have been happening around replacing EVM with RISC-V architecture VMs?
Oh, sure. I mean, so RISC-V was explored as an idea by Vitalik and proposed, and this is because of potential improvements for the ZK VMs. We've also seen proposals of looking at other languages and designs, so whether it's Noir-Lang for privacy or Cairo VM and solutions.
As a replacement or additional support?
So I think that both paths are possible, like the replacement or coexisting VMs. I think the coexisting VMs is a bit more natural, so you want to have all the existing smart contracts to simply maybe like executed side by side in blocks, and then for speed you just start deploying new protocols and the new VMs. What we care about is just the best developer experience, and I think that much of the developer experience now is just like being used to libraries and existing VM and behaviors of how to deploy applications. And it seems that the VM by itself, like more and more people think like, look, this is not the bottleneck actually, the design of the EVM. The EVM can be super fast. And it's, even as we're exploring this idea, something maybe there'll be like 10x improvement in the future for the ZK. Just the fact that we started looking at it, it just gives us more answers. And for now, it feels that the answers are stay with EVM and just keep improving some other areas of the system. Like there's some small touches around EVM will help a lot. And the proving, like the ZK provers, we've addressing all the prover killers and the if proofs challenge from that Justin was pushing. And just already so amazing. Like what you see from Succinct, what you see from RISC-V, the other players in the market, and now all the announcements around Stu and the Stark-based solutions from Starknet. All of this really places Ethereum at the forefront of innovation on ZK, and many people see that ZK will be an amazing answer for scaling, for privacy, also on the client side proving. So accelerating the space will be a big part of the Ethereum leap forward.
I mean, that's exactly what we want. The question here is, how do you get to enable that faster than it has been historically? And when you are kind of doing that as an org with 200 plus people, what are kind of the challenges and kind of what are the ways you get to sort of get everybody back in an urgency mode?
Yeah, I mean, like structuring the teams for that. So now Team and Alex and Barnaby were working on looking at the teams and structuring them more like aligned with the goals and showing like how those 3 lanes of scaling L1, scaling L2, and improving interop and UX are kind of forced in everyone, but hopefully in positive sense, that like 80–90% of work of every team should be related to this work. Sure, we leave us like some space for the more of the long-term solutions, but they should be not so visible as they are nowadays in EF. Like I think that world nowadays and the industry, they need the answers for the next 1–2 years. The long-term preparation from Ethereum Foundation was there, has been there, and it still matters, but I almost think that thinking about long-term nowadays, it's exactly executing the short-term goals. Like this is the time in the world with all the technological shift that you have to move very fast and understand what technological shifts are happening now. So the organization is preparing for that. Is it challenging? Sure, but also there are like all the other teams, and I think picking up the winners, bringing also the talent to the right places, also taking advantage of the talent outside of the foundation, which simply like people that want to contribute, like the engineering managers, strategies, the HR people from other teams that come and tell us, this is how you execute super fast, this is what you can change, this is how you can adjust. So you don't have to bring those people on board. Sometimes just like a few hours conversation, and they actually are super helpful now. So we take advantage of all of this.
That's amazing. And I guess maybe to end things here, you've obviously, I've seen you here the rest of the week, and people have been coming up to you and giving kind of their thoughts on what they think can be made better, and some anywhere from suggestions to complaints. I'm sure you've seen a lot of it. But what do you think you can kind of ask for here to people and help kind of get fast-tracked on some of the things that you think are important or that are being missed or underlooked, and things that people can help the Ethereum Foundation do to succeed?
Yeah, sure. We are being asked a lot about this local community hubs, like the acceleration places, like people to meet with the incubators, accelerators, VCs. So there are many fantastic events organizers and people who onboard developers, who onboard founders, organize hackathons. So Eve Global is a massive onboarding place, and just to connect all of this into a network of accelerating people together into building on Ethereum, celebrating the applications of every single person that we're building here and during the hackathon, picking it up and helping each other to get funding, to get noticed, to get connected, helping with hiring. All of this you can help us to deliver. You can do that without us, but also Ethereum Foundation will be improving the tooling to make sure that you can do it very fast and efficient way.
Amazing. Well, you know what to do, people. And Tomasz, thank you so much for the amazing conversation.